Gunsmoke 007 here from Central Texas. What I like to do is just a general disassembly and cleaning tips on a Springfield Arms Ultra Compact 45. Just go over some of the basic stuff. I'll go over that with you real quick. Alright, first thing you always want to do is just make sure your weapon's unloaded, which your magazine's empty. Pull the hammer back, make it easy, pull the slide back, check your chamber, nothing in the chamber. Okay. Now, first things you can do here is lock your slide to the rear. Okay. Now, the Springfield comes with a special little tool. It's a little plastic half-round tool, and it goes up on here on the guide rod for the spring here, and you snap that into place. Now take some of the spring tension off and let your slide come back to that little half moon. Push your slide stop out. Comes out just like that. And you can just slide slimly off. Okay. Now taking this apart, you got a little link on your barrel here. I'll put that up so you can pull your spring. So your spring assembly forward and out, just like that. And you got your barrel, put your link down, slide your barrel out, just like that, and there's your slide. Now on your slide assembly you also have the firing pin and the extractor back here. Okay. Now to take that out, you can push down your firing pin. I got a little tool here I can punch it with. And just enough to slide that plate off, and down, slip that all apart. There we go. And I'll just slide that out. Make sure you catch your firing pin and spring so it don't go flying across the room on you. There we go. Pull the plate out. Firing pin and spring. And you got your extractor. Now your extractor here can be a little bit tedious getting it lined back up right, putting it back in, but I'll go over that in a little bit. Okay. Now cleaning your slide. This one isn't dirty. I got a little bit of slide grease on it, and what I use there, I got a little bit of this Hopi's grease right here, and I can put down on my slides. Now when you're cleaning it, you know, a Q-tip's good to run up and down your slides. Okay, and using solvent. I've got some Otter solvent right here. Okay, and when I oil it, I got a little bit of Otter's oil right there. Same stuff I use for air freshener for my truck. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Q-tip getting down in here is really good. Using solvent and then oiling it back up and getting in and out of where your firing pin and your extractor are. Okay. Getting up and down them grooves in there. Okay. Now, on your receiver, kind of the same thing. Using a Q-tip and your solvent, getting down in your grooves, where your slide are, down around your hammer. Okay. Now you do get stuff under your grips, and I pre-loosen these a little bit. There's a star tip. And if they're tight and I'm gonna loosen them, of course I'll put a piece of cloth in there to so I don't mar them up. Okay. I pre-loosen these just a little bit. Take those off real quick. And you'll notice that you can get a lot of stuff underneath where your slides are right along here. You know, so cleaning that out real good is important on both of your underneath your grips there. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'll put that back on there. Once you've cleaned under there, you can snap them back on, snug them down. Now, when you go to take these out, you want to take them out together and not individually. That way, you don't wrench loose your where your screws set into your receiver there. Otherwise you got problems with that. Okay. Put your screws in, like I say, when you put them in initially, just put them in to where they hold, and then take a piece of cleaning cloth, set it on here so you don't mar them up. And I got this little socket, and when I do it, just snug, not real tight, just enough to hold it in place properly. Alright, once you've done that, put this one on here. Once you've done that, you can think about putting it back together once you got the cleaning done, and you put some of this this grease. You can put some of this grease on your slides, on your grooves on your receiver, and on your slide here, on these rails, so it runs smoothly. Okay. Now when you go to put your slide back together, the most tedious thing is your extractor, getting it lined up so your plate will go in there. Okay. Now what I do is I'll take a little bit of grease. I'll take a little bit of this grease to hold it in place. Just a little bit, just enough to give it a stickiness. Okay, just a smidge. Okay. Now get it on there. Now what I'll do is I'll make sure it's lined up as good as possible. Take my plate right here and I'll pre-fit my plate. In this case it went on just fine. Now the real trick is to get the firing pin in and the plate back on without knocking the extractor out of alignment. Okay, that's the real trick right there. So what I'm going to do is slip this firing pin in, and I'm going to push down on it with this while I'm sliding this plate in. Okay, so as we slide this plate part way just to get a start, push down on the firing pin carefully and try not to move the extractor in the process, or you can have it hang up with it and you may end up starting from square one, trying to get it all lined up, which in this case something did move. Okay, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but it just takes a little patience. Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back this plate out, and I can see my extractor move down just a little bit. It tends to do that. I'm going to move it back up just a little bit. We got a little alignment there. There we go. Refit my plate again. You might have to do this 2 or 3 times because it can be a little tedious. Okay, now firing pin in. Plate started, and let's see if we can get that firing pin pushed in. Plate's in place. There you go. Okay. Alright, that's the hard part. Okay. Now, putting it back together, like I said, you know, before you completely put it back together, you want to put a little grease along your rail system here, on your receiver, and on your slide. Okay. And now we can take the barrel, put the barrel in, got the link down, makes it easier to go in. Once you get it in all the way, stand your link up, and click spring. You can take this tool off of here that's holding it, and you can get in there for brush and clean it with some oil, solve it and oil it. Okay, and that's pretty simple, just a matter of taking the time to do it. Okay, now you got this half moon edge on the guide rod here. Sling this in, slip that in right there. Okay, now got your link up. Alright, now you can take your slide and your receiver, slide them together. Alright, now what you want to do is you want to check there's a little hole right here. You look at that hole and you're looking to see if that link is lined up. Okay, that way you can put your slide stop back in. Okay, and you may have to play with it just a little bit to get it all lined up. And get your slide stop started. just like that. Okay. Now, what you want to do is you bring your slide back to this half moon. There's a half moon right there. Okay. And bring that back and push in your slide stop. There you go. Okay. Now, with your slide locked all the way to the rear, you go ahead and take this little plastic tool out on the end. Right there, just like that. Now you can let your slide all the way forward. Okay. And what I always do is after that point, you know, when I'm putting this back together, I put a light coat of oil all over the upper receiver and the slide. Being stainless steel, it's good that you keep a light coat of oil on it anyway. Okay. And if anybody's got any questions, like I said, I'm not going to actually spend all the video time actually going through the whole process of the cleaning and the oiling it down. That'll take quite a bit of time, but I think you got the general idea of how to do this here. So, alright, if anybody got any questions or issues or comments, just let me know on my website there. Alright, thank you. Bye.